So here's the deal. I'm going, having my little Coors Light. I'm walking through the motorhomes and NASCAR, and you were there cooking those steaks and doing all those things. And I go walk by and I see Steve Conaway showing a 3-minute video of the 2 Hour House. And I went, play that again. And he's sitting there, he's talking about what you guys had done. And I went, that could be one of the best leadership books of all time. And Brian goes, what do you mean? I said, man, collaboration, efficiency, organization, time management, it's all in that story. And I said, we got to bring this to life because everybody could relate to a house. A house is a simple metaphor.
Yeah.
But what really blows me away, 579 volunteers, building a 2,300 square foot house in less than 3 hours. So I want to know when you got involved, when he brought you the idea, what you were thinking. Tell me the story from your perspective.
Well, the way I can remember it, because it's been a minute since.
20 years.
Brian Conaway is one of my dearest friends, and likewise I think I am for him as well. And we talked about this, and he always wanted to do something like this. I said, you're crazy. There's no way it's going to happen. And especially getting everybody around here in Tyler to do that. He says, well, do you think you could help me try to put this together? I said, if that's what you want to try to do, we'll try. Whatever you want, I'll always back you. So here we go. When we started talking to, all the builders that he knew and that I knew and all the subs and contractors out there that we all knew. And next thing you know, everybody seemed to have a little bit of spark and an interest to it. And then next thing you know, we start gathering and meeting at, I think it's Papacita's Mexican restaurant for lunch once a month. And we started doing that. And next thing you know, we formed the committees and who's going to be responsible for this and that. And then once that's happened, then those committees went out and got their stuff organized and started building. And this took for I think it was almost 2 years planning this, getting all this stuff together and going over, rewinding, reviewing, what if that, do this, test this, let's try this. So we did models at different places because we did landscaping on different houses, and let's see how fast we could do it here. And if we got everything together, if we did this. And other competitors of mine joined in and said, I'll help you with that. And suppliers and different things came in, and their knowledge was also brought to the table. And we just worked through it and practiced for I don't know how many times we practiced. And I mean, everybody had a big part, but I helped at the very beginning stages of this thing with Brian.
So going back, here we are looking back over 20 years. In your own business life, what did the 2 Hour House do for you personally?
What it does for me personally is it just taught me that you got to really plan and schedule to really get things done. You can't just we can do it like this and it'll just work. You've got to have everything kind of staged and set up, planned and prepared if you're really going to be on point. And then on top of that, you need to have backup plans, because I don't know if you knew this or not, but during the entire, right in the middle of this going on, I mean, it was an hour in or more to this process, and one of my pieces of equipment that did the cleanup, the water pump, failed, and the thing overheated and shut down. So I had to get another unit in, and just miraculously we had one on standby to use to come in. And just, if you don't plan and have backups, you're at risk of not performing your best on what you're trying to achieve, your goal is.
It sounds funny. Somebody has a big old speaking engagement or something and forgets the battery. I mean, it's the thing, the littlest, or gas, to make sure. Oh, tell me about the time with the practice house. What did you learn? And Katrina came through 2 weeks, 3 weeks prior. What do you recall there? I'm just
just the rain and the forecasting of that, the dirt and mud and how to work through it. If we had mud, what we did with it. If just there was so many. It was just bottom line. It just taught us to plan and prepare, think of the worst, have backups in case something does happen. I mean, it got to the point where, like, the practice house, whenever, we had always talked about blowing the horn, that started everything, right? Well, we had 2 of those air horns you buy, and can you believe those things failed? So during the event, when it happened, we had 2 or 3 at a backup of those things. I mean, it's just things like that, And so just knowing, to plan and be thinking of everything and have backups was one of the things. The next thing that I think was really big was teamwork. Understanding people, working with people, competitors, people that are my competitors every day. It was amazing to see how those guys humbled themselves to want to be a part of this event. And they took tasks and, responsibilities that was given to them to do and absolutely did it. And so what I learned from that was, even though you have competitors in life with your business, don't be surprised that they still could be your friend and might help you in some other way. And that's one thing that I got out of it.
And the Home Builder Association grew that year, and you guys, everybody working together is what it tells me, that the human spirit is alive and well when you work together for something bigger than yourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It kind of unites.
Sure.
I mean, you're talking about, I got this house, and then I got the roof. Somebody was sitting there explaining this.
Yep.
You got the drawings on the inside.
Yep.
And to plan this thing out, to do the interior doors and baseboards, the heating and cooling system.
And see, we had to keep all that clean, everything out. As soon as a trade was done, we're cleaning after them. We're doing multitask things to keep everything running and moving and going. And, the grading and having the safety was a big thing. Just everything. It was just crazy. It all happened so fast.
Yeah, and the meetings, when you were talking about meetings monthly, and you had the inspectors in your meetings, right? I mean, talk about the meetings, because sometimes Brian was sitting there talking about, some people don't know how to run meetings, or they talk too much and not just make it important for everybody. Describe what you would recommend on meetings.
Yeah, so on meetings, what we did with this was, of course, Brian took the lead at first to explain what we're doing and all that kind of thing. And
did he show the video and the previous house in California to kind of?
He did.
Okay.
We had that. That was kind of the introduction of things, and then I kind of chimed in and said, I think we could do this, and we need to reach out to others, and another one chimed in, and another one chimed in, and it just kind of like domino effect, and it just all just started happening. And as far as that goes, it started off as a monthly meeting, but ended up as a weekly meeting before we got to the end, and sometimes it was even daily at different things and stuff like that. And sometimes it wasn't the committee meeting, it was the member of the committee meeting their team and doing their stuff at another place. So you could have meetings going on all during the week, and then we just had one big meeting with just the committee members and things like that, and we're explaining what we've talked about, what we're doing, and other companies, meaning other committee members that did other trades, put their input on it, even though they didn't do the trade, just their thoughts. We took everybody's thoughts, whether they did roofing, sheetrock, paint, flooring, sodding, whatever. we wanted to get everybody's thoughts to critique it the best we possibly could, because we wanted to be successful with it.
Yeah, and when I told you I was watching that video with Brian when I first saw it, I was thinking organization, efficiency, inspiration, leadership, all these principles. But one thing I realized that you can't have any of that without communication. So like you said, everybody had input, everybody felt safe, and then communication is the key to everything. I mean, it's
We even had one person that just did charting in the meeting, that took all the minutes and did the charting when we were putting things up, and then the next time we had a next meeting, they put it on a graph and then handed it all out so everybody knew. I mean, just everybody had a specific role, and it took energy to really do it, and you had to come back to the table with it. If someone came back that didn't have their homework done, then someone else is put in their shoes to feel.
Did that happen a lot?
I remember there was a couple things where there were hiccups like that, and we just had to step in and get someone else to kind of take that, because you can't. I mean, this was taken very serious, and it took a lot of energy to make that happen. And I don't even know, I mean, how it happened at the end of the day, because it was so much going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Only one person can handle so much. You can only handle so much. Brian could only handle so much. Everybody had their own thing. And next thing you know, it's over. It's done. And we're all just like, whoa.
You actually pulled it off. Yeah, that's a big deal, man.
It's crazy.
It is, and to take on a project like this, it united a community. There's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. And there's projects that are happening in Tyler, Texas now. You can just see if they just get united, and put the 2-hour process. You can make anything happen.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty amazing. And what about the state inspectors? The inspectors, city inspectors. How involved were they during the process? You had an open door for everybody.
Yeah, every one of them came in there, and they all had their own responsibility of what they had to be watching for to make sure that the framing was done correctly. They were watching as it was being performed on the side, as the concrete was being poured, the concrete was being inspected by another inspector. Everybody had their role. Even the city inspectors were at these meetings to know what their role was, so they didn't get confused. Well, I thought someone else did. Every single person that was a key person in this thing. The material suppliers were in this meeting, and the concrete plant managers and stuff that were from other cities. Their corporate managers came in and tested the concrete, and mixed batches of it, little samples of it, to see how it performed and how hot it got and cured, and when we could step on it and how fast we could put pressure on it without it, to where it's safe. And the inspectors were there to be a part of it. There was so much testing with just that alone. I remember that going on. Just so much. It was a lot.
Yeah,
people don't know how much planning and preparing and trying and erring and planning and backup plans and extra material and stuff. I mean, it was just a lot.
So the process of because I'm learning as I'm going, but I guess you mapped it out, and every idea was a great idea, and then I'm sure step 5 said, hey, if you could do this at step 2, you make my job easier. And I'm sure the communication between trades enhanced on how they can even work together in projects going into the future, right?
And that's what I was saying, everybody's thoughts, everybody's input, try this, try that, go back and do it this way, go do it that way. I mean, every trade was critiqued by others and outsiders coming in, and, just even myself and what I do every day. I had other owners that are just like me putting their thoughts into it, and it put harmony together with us, And like I said before, you'd asked, what do you get out of it? What did you get out of this? And that is just, you can work with anybody as long as you have your mind set to it and you're humble about it. And if you want something, you can do it as long as you put your efforts into it.
And as we go back, or y'all were involved in the Builders Association, but the young guys that are part of that now, and you've got a lot of people that says, "Man, I don't join that because I don't get anything out of it." My always question is, what do you put into it? Because if you put something into it, you're going to get an abundance out. Yeah. It's amazing what we don't know, and you just keep learning. And so, if you were, like I asked Robert and all of them, if you were going to advise your kids, and what you would like to teach them on a couple of nuggets that you took away, or your business life or the community, what would you like to share?
Yeah, just the same thing that I've been sharing is, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Don't ever give up. And if you can't do it or don't think you can do it, then reach out to friends and your colleagues and ask their input, because you can always make it happen.
What did you even learn about watching competitors come side by side for a common work goal? And answer, Jose, if you would.
Yeah. Just knowing that you kind of have your guard up a little bit, because you don't want to let loose of your own secrets, if you will, and what makes you as a company. You don't want to pass out those secrets to others, because they might use it to their advantage. But you know what? That's good, because at the end of the day, they respected all of it. And it just, those that worked together and made this happen, it showed just how well you can, how much you can accomplish if you just work together. There's not a need to have to be enemies to others, or I'm better than you attitude or whatever. You break those shields down, and you just work together like family, and just you accomplish the task. And the task was, we want to build a 2-hour house.
And what's amazing is that the more you share, the more abundance you get back. So you actually learn, and you create that safe place. Because I tell you, there's something magical about this. 20 years later, and I can't believe it's October 1st, 2005 when that happened. Now we're coming up to 25. And amazing how fast life goes, and it goes by. And if we can develop some future leaders to take some nuggets out of this story, I think it's a simple metaphor, and you can apply it to hamburgers, you can apply it to Starbucks, you can whatever organization. But if you leverage strengths of others, it's amazing how far we can go. But somehow our school system tells us we have to do stuff on our own. Yeah. And you can't do things on your own, not great things on your own, is what I believe. So any final thoughts at all?
To landscape a house of this size here, it typically would take about 3 to 5 hours to landscape the front of the house, and a day or less, 6 to 8 hours to sod the yard and things like that, and a half a day to grade and do all of that, and a half a day to build a fence and set posts first, and then come back the next day and put the panels up and things like that. So it's a 2 to 4 day process at an average home. Not all day for 4 days, but that's an average for this size home. And we had to do it in, I believe our timeline was like 8 minutes. Fence.
Yeah, no doubt.
Landscaping, mulching, and on top of all that, keeping the cleanup going throughout the duration, because at the landscaping part, that's the tail end. That's the very end of the job. So there's more trash and more cleanup to do. So my job, as this started, just kept growing, and more responsibility and more responsibility, more stuff. And I couldn't do it all myself. So I had to reach out to others to take on certain responsibilities that was on them. And we had the radios and we had our own channels, and, so we could communicate, hey, this, that, it was crazy. And then I want to say this. This was in 2005. Mm-hmm. Do you remember how busy things were in 2005? The building industry, the economy as a whole was growing massively. I mean, houses were being built, construction, commercial, residential, doesn't matter. The economy was growing and booming at that time. So everybody was busy. These contractors that were part of this, they had to take off their busy schedule to make this thing happen on top of all of this. I mean, it was just something.
Yep. And then, because we're human creatures of the eye, we only believe what we see. And when people see the story and see the house coming together, it shifts the mindset. I don't think you were, what I was sharing with Robert, my dad, is deaf mute, and he would do this.
Yeah.
And I would go, what is that? And it's take that circuit out, turn it and put it back in, or change your perspective, or change how you look at things. Yeah. And so that's my purpose of this 2-hour house, is to shift the mindset of what can be done, and then what you can do by working together, leveraging each other's strengths, and then and use this as an example to say, hey, take this and share it with people's teams. Yeah. Say, hey, man, what's our 2-hour house? We want to accomplish this. Same process, I would think. So that's it. So anyway, I appreciate. I know you didn't know what to expect coming, but I'm glad you came, because all this, somehow he's going to help me put it together. And this will come out, and then we do it in celebration, and we got stories that we'll share with generations to come, I hope. Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to freaking break this story unless they got the plans, especially with the cement to mix and dry in 22 minutes. I mean,
police escorted cement trucks from all the way right behind us over here, all the way out to the airport. I mean, that will never happen again like that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So it's up to us to bring it to life. So that's why maybe if I have to just rally the troops up, but by God, we're going to celebrate, because you guys, I don't know what I would have done, but I would have been, I would have been in the stands just watching, just saying, hey, I see the magic behind what just happened over there. There was.
We had grandstands set up. That wasn't even my part of the committee, is
2,500
just
people.
The grandstands set up and all that.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. And when you're looking back, you kind of go, whoa, that was something pretty magical.
It was something.
And so, I'll have a list of the people that all participated, but if there's other guys, we're going to reach out to everybody.
You guys do know, if you've done this today, it'd be on Netflix.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
you're right.
For sure.
And actually, Michael Gerber, which was one of the guys who talks about processes and McDonald's and franchising businesses, Brian and I went out there, and they wanted Brian to build more houses. And I said, Brian goes, I ain't got time. I'm done with that deal.
But that's just it. But the economy at the time was booming. There was so much going on at that time, and it's amazing how all this came together.
Yeah, and not only that. I mean, 2 weeks later, after Hurricane Katrina came through, and then you've got all the what do you call that? The generators got all taken away, and you got to go find them, and then the crane guy, you had to go find that, and you're on a deadline. I mean, that's pretty. You had a lot of dynamics against you guys, and to pull that off, it's pretty amazing. So anyway, appreciate it.
And it rained the night before.
It did? I didn't even know that.
It rained the night before, and the ground was muddy.
Nice.
It was great.
Wow. Oh, it was just perfect.
Oh, yeah,
with
I
the
loved
whole
it.
project. That's wild. That made laying the grass out may be kind of nice, but we'll see.
People stepping all over. I mean, have you ever been out into a
and
pasture?
The colors. If you think about the colors of the T-shirts and the flags, I mean, all that's communication. And so it's not just what we say; it's how we communicate, what's not said. So I think that's a big deal.